like calling literally everything white supremacy. These were the most absurd ones. The Washington Post, the racist legacy birds carry.
So Pastor Josh Howerton thinks it's absurd to think that bird names could be racist. And I get it. But if you're curious, let's actually look at that. My name is David Tillman. I'm a professor of public health, and I teach about the surprising impacts of racism on our health. So let's look at bird names and John James Audubon. Now, John James Audubon is remembered as America's great bird artist, but he also enslaved people and defended slavery. And more than that, he promoted this thing called scientific racism. The false idea that races could be ranked in intelligence and biology. Audubon literally thought that white skulls were bigger and brains were bigger, and therefore they were superior. These kind of ideas shaped science and medicine for generations, and we can still see the echoes. In 2016, a study found that many medical students and residents still believed that Black patients literally had thicker skin that wasn't as sensitive to pain. That's not just bias, that's the legacy of scientific racism that folks like Audubon contribute to today's healthcare system. If doctors aren't trained, they will unconsciously or subconsciously take in this kind of thing and therefore treat people differently. Racism in science becomes racism in practice. So if we're curious, bird names aren't a silly example at all. They're a case study of how racism was once baked into science and culture and how those ideas still shape health today. So Josh's list is actually really useful as a roadmap of the surprising ways that racism impact public health. So stay tuned for the rest of the series. The next one is actually about peanut butter and jelly. You got to see it. By the way, huge shout out to Dan McClellan. He had a great response to this on his channel, and without Dan, I wouldn't even know who Josh Howerton is. So stay tuned.